Good afternoon and welcome to the Perkins Garage's YouTube channel for a Ford Ranger Wildtrak walk around video. But before we get started, click on that subscribe button and you could be number 800 subscriber to the Perkins YouTube channel. This vehicle is an Agate Black Ford Ranger Wildtrak double cab featuring the 2-litre bi-turbo engine producing 215 PS of power, transmitted through a beautiful 10-speed automatic gearbox. The Ranger is registered on a 2022 registration, meaning we're taking Ford warranty with us until March 2025. The vehicle itself is just under 16,500 miles, but like always, I'll get the exact number once on the dash in a moment. So the first port of call for this video is the near side front bumper, and from here what I will do for you is display this beautiful remote central locking key in all of its glory. Next, clicking on the unlock button will wake up the daytime running lamps. Daytime running lamps give you the ultimate visibility no matter the lighting condition, meaning you're always going to be seen even on those brightest of summer's day, or even today, a dull January afternoon, they are perfectly visible. So inside there are some lovely LED headlights, then we continue the LED with LED front fog lights. We have front parking sensors on this lovely Wildtrak, and they start all the way around the corner and they wrap themselves around that front lip of the bumper. Underneath the number plate there is a front-facing radar responsible for some of the Wildtrak driver assistance pack, which I shall cover in its entirety once we're inside the vehicle. Moving ourselves around now to these beautiful, they are 18-inch machine cut alloy wheels. So machine cut give you the silver shiny face, the cut metal with the charcoal magnetic grey colour just behind. We've actually got the silver painted brake calipers, as you can see. And the tyres fitted to this are the Continental cross contact tyres, and again they're in marvellous condition. Just like to draw your attention north quickly up into the windscreen. I have to stand a bit more square onto it. There is a light sensor, so as the sun goes down and the moon comes up, your lights are going to come on automatically. Further north is 2 more sensors, or 3 actually, a rain sensing one for the rain sensing wipers, a light sensor for the auto high beam, and also a traffic speed sign recognition camera. Continuing at the top of the vehicle, we have silver painted roof rails, so if a roof box is what you require, that's easily achievable. Back down to the body of the vehicle, we have the magnetic grey painted wing covers on there, wing mirror covers, and they look lovely. So we have bi-turbo badging on both the front wings, and we have side steps on both near and off side of the vehicle. Lovely Wildtrak badging on the driver and passenger door respectively. It's going to lock the vehicle now on the remote central locking. I'm going to pop that in my pocket, take you to half zoom, because on the door handle here we have the indent. That signifies we have keyless entry. So a tap behind the door handle unlocks the vehicle, a tap on that indent once again, then lock the vehicle. It times out after about 20-30 seconds, so it's only going to be you getting inside the vehicle. This Wildtrak features rear privacy glass both on the cab and also on this beautiful Truckman top, which we shall look inside in a minute. But now we're at the offside rear of the vehicle. At this stage of the video I'll take a step back and get nice and tight to the body and just gently rock the camera back and forth, hopefully showing to everybody watching this video how beautiful the body panels are. Then we can link that round to the offside rear wheel. So again, another beautiful 18-inch machine cut alloy wheel. Quick mechanics lesson for you here. So normal vehicles have McPherson strut suspension. This Ranger and a lot of vehicles such as this have leaf spring suspension. So see that bar there? That is leaf spring suspension. That gives you a greater payload at the rear as well. In addition to that mechanics lesson, we also have rear drum brakes. So they're ultra efficient, ultra low maintenance because they're self-adjusting inside. So you won't have to carry out any maintenance on these for a very long time. Starting to move ourselves around the rear of the bumper now. We have rear parking sensors on that little bar there, and that is complemented with an ultra high definition reversing camera below the Ford badge. Again, we'll have a look inside the back in a minute, but before we do, we're going to give the near side the same treatment as the off. So get the camera nice and high up and just gently rock it back and forth, showing you just how beautiful all these panels are. So now we're at the near side rear, like so. And now we can follow that all the way to the near side front wheel and give you a good look at that. Worth noting as well, keyless entry actually features on both front doors, so you can gain entry from either of those. Back to the mechanics lesson. This engine is an Eco Blue engine. Hold on, if I unlock the vehicle. Eco Blue engine. So what that means is we have an AdBlue reservoir. AdBlue is a solution that gets sprayed onto the exhaust gases, making it a nice clean burn. On a used car prep here at Perkins, we will fill this reservoir for you, so you don't have to worry about it for thousands of miles. You have an indicator on the dashboard as well, which I shall show you in a minute. But practically you can buy this solution from any petrol station, B&Q, home base, and go straight in that hole, but it makes it a 6.2 compliant, a Euro 6.2 compliant vehicle, and also ULEZ as well, so very handy indeed. But it's a very clever solution just to eliminate nitrous oxide coming out the exhaust pipe, which is good for the environment. Okie doke, so now we're at the rear of the vehicle and you've had your mechanics lessons. Let's have a look at the Truckman top. So we can open it up using this handle here for the top glass part. Then we have the conventional tailgate that lowers down like so. So we'll give you a good look at this angle here. As you can see, we have the hard wearing heavy duty liner on the floor there, so it's going to be very damage resistant. It's not going to scratch, it's not going to mark, and it's going to keep your property in tip top condition. So inside the Truckman there, so it's had the electrics rewired as well, and it actually coordinates with the central locking. So as you lock it, you lock the Truckman top as well. But still inside there we have tethering points, so you can tether things down. There is an industrial 12 volt socket to the near side rear of the cab there, and so you can plug in all the power packs, toolboxes, cool boxes, and everything in between. We do have windows on the side there as well, so some people put dogs in the back of here. Wouldn't advise it, but depends if you're a farmer. So yeah, a lovely Truckman top. So if you need this Truckman top, and again the weather has been bitter here in the last few days, we've had plenty of rain, plenty of water, and as you can see it's dry inside there, which is always good. So that's inside the Truckman area of this beautiful Wildtrak. So now we can shut that up, and again you can hear the lock, so that goes with the key. So now let's unlock the vehicle once more. So we've done the exterior and we've done the truck. Let's have a look inside the rear. So these are, family vehicles, and I say that to everyone because you've got everything you need. So starting off, let's hold your horses. Starting off the door cards there. So we've got hardware and plastic, so it's always going to be nice and robust, nice and protected, and easy to repair if damaged. A soft touch synthetic leather on the armrest there, with the now iconic Wildtrak orange stitching. We have 4 electric windows on this vehicle, so you get an individual control in each door card. Starting at the floor this time, we have the Wildtrak mats in there, so pre-fitted. So after purchase, that's one less thing you have to worry about. In the centre console there, that is a 230 volt 150 watt plug socket. The uses of that are endless. Let's just say you're charging phones, and then we have another 12 volt socket as well. Looking up now to the interior of this beautiful Wildtrak, we have the ebony leather, and it's perforated cloth around the outside and in the lower back and base part of the seat. Again, we have the iconic Wildtrak stitching. If you do carry those smaller humans of the world and are trying to convince someone these are family vehicles, easy. ISO fixing seat on the near side and also on the offside rear. Again, just look at the beauty of these seats. So that's inside the rear of the double cab. Let's have a look inside the front. So opening up the driver's door card, again interior locking is found just left of the door handle. All 4 electric window controls with one touch auto on the drivers are found here, with the rear locking as well. Again, that lovely soft touch leather, synthetic leather on your armrest section. So turning the camera around for the last time, we can have a look at the driver's and passenger seat. So again, that lovely leather, the Wildtrak embroidered into the mid part of the seat, and perforated cloth in the middle, so it would be nice and breathable. Again, this vehicle's on 16,500 miles, but looking at this condition of this leather, I think the driver was levitating because it is in marvellous condition. We have electric seats, or electric driver's seat I should say, which is a 1 and 2 for forward and backwards. You have your 3 and your 4, which is your front tilt, your 5 and 6, which is your height, and 7 and 8 is your rear tilt there. I'm just going to jump inside the vehicle. You may hear a little bit of distortion on my microphone, so please just bear with me for a moment. Marvellous. So to complement the keyless entry, we have a keyless start button as well. So when you put your foot on the brake, the light will go green. One click of the button and that will turn on the 2-litre bi-turbo engine. I'm just going to turn the radio down, and I'm just going to turn the fan down. Marvellous. Okay, so to begin the interior tour, I'm going to be showing you around the steering wheel and the dashboard. So let me just get my seat pushed back a little bit, so I've got some room for the camera. Okay, so the way the Ranger dashboard works, we have a set of arrows on the right hand side and again on the left hand side, and they both correspond to the screens ahead of them, and this is what I'll be controlling this screens with. So beginning on the left hand side of the dash, this is basically where all your media is going to be found, such as your phone connectivity, this is your Bluetooth connectivity, your navigation in there as well, so when it's not programmed it just comes up with a compass, and entertainment again, so this is where your radio presets can be found. At the bottom of that screen we have the ambient air temperature, we have a compass, and obviously the time on the right hand side. At the bottom we have lighting information, such as your auto lights are on. Being an automatic vehicle, we have the gear selector indicator at the bottom there, and on the furthest right we have the handbrake warning sign, seatbelt warning sign, and at the top there we have the RPM gauge and the fuel gauge as well. But again, controlling the screen using the arrows, we have different coolant temperature sensors, we can go to a digital speedo, you have live tyre pressures there as well, which is always handy. Again, average speed, we have distance till empty, but tons and tons of goodies. But if I was to go left on here, we can then come down to driver assist. So I mentioned we have the Wildtrak driver assistance pack on this vehicle. That includes AdBlue status. So the current range is 3,750 miles. Then we have the refill, so it will tell you how much it needs. Currently nothing. Different chimes, we have cruise control, which on this particular one is the adaptive cruise control, which I shall come to in a second. We have a driver alert there, we have local hazard information, lane keeping system, pre-collision assist, we have a speed limiter, and the speed limiter, it can be actually set to intelligent. So, do you know I said earlier about the traffic speed sign? Those two circles at the bottom of the screen is where the speed signs shall be displayed, and basically the speed limiter works on the premise that if you go past a differing speed sign, it will change your limiter in accordance to what is read. Very handy if you're in a town or city possibly. And we have the traffic signs, settings there, tyre monitor, and back to the top once more. If I was to come down into settings, vehicle, we can then go to lighting, so auto high beam, come down to locks, this is going to be about the auto unlock, mislock, and a remote start there, or remote start. Download the Ford Pass Connect app onto your mobile telephone device, sync your vehicle with your mobile device, and you can turn it on, so you can remote start the vehicle. Because it is an automatic, unfortunately those of you with a manual Ford, you can't do that, but you can set your climate control from there, your heated seats, the duration. Amazing. So if that fancies a bit of you want to know more about that, give us a call, I'll explain everything you need to know. And we've got seat belts and we've got wipers, so rain sensing wipers and things such as that. So that's enough about the screens, but I said I'll get the exact mileage, which is 16,463.4. That's done. Right, the remainder of the steering wheel. So we have the arrows, we know about that. The right hand side is where you'll find the buttons for the cruise control. Again, this is the adaptive cruise control. It's a very ergonomic place to keep it right by your right thumb. So once you know where all the buttons are, you won't even be looking. It's just one touch to adjust your distance to the vehicle in front, one touch to adjust your speed, and cancel and resume with your speed limiter bottom left. The left hand side of the steering wheel is where you'll find media controls, such as your volume rocker, a voice command and mute, pick up, decline, and previous and next song function. Progressing the video now into the central reservation of the vehicle. This is a mechanical handbrake. This is because we have rear drums on the vehicle, as I previously mentioned. Two adjustable cup holders, spring loaded, your drinks aren't going to fall everywhere, good design. And these are this is the control for the 10-speed automatic gearbox, so we can pull it down into reverse, then I can display this beautiful high definition reversing camera if my camera will focus. So that gives us the proximity sensors for the front and rear parking sensors to the top right hand side. That'll give you an intermittent beep that'll increase in frequency as you get closer to the object in question. Pop the vehicle back into park, just so I don't forget, but it also comes with a semi-automatic function on the right hand side of the selector, so you can go up and down the gearbox yourself. We have the gearbox settings there, whether it's 4-wheel drive, 2, low range, high range, and in front of that cluster of buttons there, we have one for parking sensors off, we have traction control, diff lock, hill descent control. This one is forward self park assist. I'll come back to that in just a second. Down in that cubby hole we have 2 USB-A ports delivering 2.1 amps of charging, and if you wish to use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, you will need a data cable in one of those ports. Just above it, 2 more 12-volt sockets. That's 4 12-volt sockets in total on this vehicle. Above it we have the buttons for the heating, ventilation and air conditioning. So it's a dual zone system, so both sides of the cabin could be set to individual temperatures using the plus and minus arrows there. Equally, we have it on the sync module ahead of us, so you don't have to click the physical buttons. I'm a button man myself, I'm not a screen man, so I'd prefer to touch it. I'd rather to click something because that's the way I work, but if not, you can have it all on the screen as well, so you can actually see the digital readout in temperature there, which is a really nice feature. But coming back down to the buttons, 3-way heated front seats. I'm going to keep that on because it is absolutely bitter outside today. And we have different flows of vents, automatic function, electronically heated front windscreen, recirculation, fan speed is found in the middle. So we have a tuner, rocker, volume control and previous and next song on this little cluster. And now it's time to go up and give you a quick demo on this lovely Sync 3.4 module. So this effectively is your home page. So let me just get comfortable for this and get the camera in the right area. I think that is a nice view for everybody. There we go. So starting off on the left hand side, audio. Then we have various sources such as AM, FM, DAB and Bluetooth audio. Next tile is your climate. We've covered this again, but you can see the 2 readouts of temperatures both sides of the cabin. Next up is phone. So we have your phone connectivity there. iPhone X is our technician's phone actually, so when we test the Bluetooth, and yes, I shall delete that in a second. Next we're into navigation, and this is where you can set your forward navigation. It's a brilliant navigation system. I use it all the time on my vehicle. Admittedly it's not a Ranger, but it's the same software, never let me down. Absolutely fantastic. But I often get asked, what about Apple CarPlay? Well, Apple CarPlay, you can have the Apple Maps, Google Maps, Waze, so you're not just restricted to this one type of software, so you can pretty much use anything you'd like on this one. Then we have more apps and settings. In settings you can adjust all your sound preferences like so, your treble, mid-range, your bass and things such as that, of radio and all these other glorious settings. Going left we have a few vehicle settings, but whereas most of it is on the screen, that's where you can adjust the camera. So I said I mentioned it earlier, clicking on the park button, this vehicle will quite literally parallel park itself. So some of you really struggle with your parallel parking, why don't you get a vehicle that can do it for you? Fantastic idea. So it uses the front and rear parking sensors to build up an image, and if it can get in there, follow the instructions on the screen. So for example, you put the vehicle into reverse, then the steering wheel will go 10 to a dozen. It's a bit of a strange feeling the first time you do it, but it is fantastic. So if you need any more information on that, please do give one of our salesmen a call and we can talk you through that. So where was I going to go? Lastly, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I mean, I don't think many people buy a car these days without it. So I have an iPhone, so I plug my phone in using that USB data port I showed you earlier, and it will mirror my phone onto the screen. Please see referring photographs. And from there I can use applications that are compatible not only on my phone but on this screen. I mentioned some earlier, Apple Maps, Google Maps, Waze, but also your music apps, your podcast apps, your phone, your text messaging, but it's all done on the premise of your voice command button on your steering wheel. I have a voice assistant on my iPhone called Siri, like you all do, so when you wake Siri up you can ask it to do a whole range of tasks, whether it's make phone calls, send audible text messages, even if you want to know how badly West Ham lost last night, not a problem. Just say, what was the West Ham score last night? You lost. Brilliant. So, you know, if you want to give yourself some misery whilst you drive along, that's how you do that. But otherwise, it's a very hands-free system and it's keeping you safe on the road. So no more scrambling for your phone. £500 fine, I think it is now. Don't want that. So get a vehicle with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Makes your life a lot easier. So I think that is about it for me today. There's always stuff that I don't get around to talk about, but That's life. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you did have any questions, please get in contact using the number 01376 550 899. Any questions, leave them below, like the video, and please don't forget to subscribe. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye bye for now.